Good afternoon, friends. Today we will see about the electrical motors. In our daily life, we use electrical motors in everywhere. In pump systems, we use electrical motors to pump the liquid. In the fans, electrical motors are there. In cranes, in lifts, electrical motors are there. So we can find the everywhere electrical motor. So today we will see about different type of electrical motors and their working and their applications also. So in electrical engineering, there are two types of supplies are there. One is DC supply and another one is AC supply. In DC supply, the voltage is constant throughout the time. It will not change. So that is called DC supply. In AC supply, the voltage is changing throughout the time. Based on the time instant to time instant, the voltage got changed. So this is called AC supply. The sources for DC supply is batteries. The sources for AC supply is the alternator. Through solar cell also we can generate the DC supply. So basically motors are divided into three categories. One is AC motors, another one is DC motors, and third category is special motors. So in AC motors, motors got divided into two types: induction motors and synchronous motors. Means if rotor is able to rotate with the stator synchronous speed, then it is called a synchronous motor. If the rotor is not rotating with the synchronous speed of the stator, it is called induction motor. So in special motors, there are three motors are there: universal motor, stepper motor, brushless DC motor is there. In special motors, many motors are there, but I have mentioned only three motors here. For control applications, we use these three special motors. Stepper motor is used to give the controlled output. Like if you want to rotate the robotic arm for 5 degrees, the stepper motor will able to do the task. And brushless DC motor is used in space applications, electrical vehicle, many applications are there. Universal motors are used in mixtures and some type of things. So first we will see about the DC motor and its construction and its applications also. So first we will see about the motor, how the motor is going to work. If a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, so this red one is the current carrying conductor. This current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field. This is the magnetic field created by the poles. If this current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, the conductor will experience a certain force on it. It starts rotating. It starts rotating. If you want to see the animation, I will show. Okay. So this is the animation. So these are the two poles, and if current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it will start rotate. Some force it will experience. You have a Lorentz equation like F is equal to BIL. This type of equation is there. Lorentz force. So how much force is acting on that conductor is calculated by the Lorentz force equation F is equal to BIL. So this is thing, and this is the animation regarding the DC motor. Rotor is rotating. See this, the field is stationary. Here rotor is rotating, and if you see the entire construction, the outer side is this. This is the pole shoe for creating the field, and this is the armature, and this is the commutator. If stator is consisting of pole shoes and rotor consists of armature housed with the conductors, this commutator is used to convert DC to AC supply. Commutator plays a big thing in the DC motor. So this is the stator construction. This is the stator construction, and this is the rotor construction. Stator consists of pole shoes. Rotor consists of conductors placed in a armature, means like slots are there, you can put the conductors in this, and commutator is there. This is the whole view of the DC motor. This is the outer covering of the DC motor. This is the outer covering of the DC motor. This is the commutator, and this is the rotor, and this is the shaft arrangement. So this is the whole DC motor. So here I have mentioned the parts separately. This is the armature where we place the winding. This is the armature, and this is the pole shoe, and this is the commutator. Here the commutator is divided into segments. This is the outer covering of the motor. This is called yoke, and commutator receives the supply through brushes arrangement. These are the two brushes going to supply the current through these brushes, because rotor has a conductors. Conductors require electricity. Electricity is supplied through the carbon brushes only, because rotating structure gets the supply through only brush arrangements only. And here comes the disadvantage. This brush arrangement and commutator arrangement, uh, this is some friction is happened between the brushes and commutator. Because of this friction, wear and tear happens. So daily some maintenance is required for the DC motor, and at the commutator some sparking is also used to happen. Because of this sparking, it cannot be used in explosive environments. So the applications of the DC motors are traction applications. You can use it in trains. DC series motor has a good starting torque. It can be used as a traction motor. And lift applications, and crane and hoist applications, conveyor belts. In DC shunt motor has a constant speed. You can use it as a conveyor system, and drilling machines and lathe machines. You can use it. Vacuum cleaners you can use. Now we come to induction motors. In b- induction motors means these are AC motor runs under AC supply. Induction motor is the mostly used in industry, because earlier DC motor is mostly used because of its speed control, but later power electronics got developed. Because of this power electronics, AC drives can be easily controlled, and AC drives become superior with these power electronic devices. If you see V by F drives, everywhere V by F drives are there. We can control the speed very easily and reliably. So induction motor is the most used one in the industry. And that too, induction motor is single excited system, means it doesn't require two excitations. If you see the DC motor, it requires supply for the field, it requires supply for the armature, both. For both it requires the supply. But in single excited system of the induction motor, we have to give supply to the stator only. There are two types of motors are involved in the induction motor. Based on the rotor construction only, these two branches are there. One is squirrel cage, another one is wound rotor. First we will see about the squirrel cage. So this is the stator structure of the induction motor. This is the stator structure of the induction motor. Windings are placed into this, and this is the rotor structure. These aluminum bars are got shorted with the end rings. This is the rotor structure. This is the stator and rotor. And if we come to the principle, this this stator has three windings: A winding, B winding, or C winding. We can say RYB, red, yellow, blue. These three windings are 120 degrees apart. From A phase to B phase, 120 degrees are there. From B phase to C phase, 120 degrees are there. From C phase to A phase, 120 degrees are there. So these three windings are separated by 120 degrees apart. And if we give three-phase supply to these three windings, a rotating magnetic field is induced in the stator. This is the rotating magnetic field. This is the rotating magnetic field. If you want to see the phasor form, this is the red, this is the blue, this is the green. If these three are the phases, black one is the resultant magnetic field that is rotating in the space. See, the black one is rotating uniformly throughout the space. This is called the rotating magnetic field created by these three vectors A, B, C. You can see the animation here. Three sinusoids are continuously changing, and one sinusoid is moving. This is like moving, it's continuously moving. The black one is moving, it is moving in the space. So, when the rotating magnetic field, this rotating magnetic field is placed in under a rotor, means stator is under rotor is under stator only. Stator has a rotating magnetic field. Because of this rotating magnetic field, the rotor is also influenced. Because rotor is a stationary structure, only rotor bars are there. Because of the changing magnetic field in the stator, some EMF is induced in the rotor. Because of this EMF, current is flowing through the rotor. So the current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field. It will experience some force on it. And this is the slip ring structure. This is the slip ring structure. We have a squirrel cage motor. Why we have to go for slip ring structure? Because some application requires more starting torque. The induction motor of squirrel cage doesn't provide more starting torque. It gives good running performance, but it doesn't give more starting torque. Where traction application requires more starting torque. Because of this, we use wound rotor induction motor. In the wound rotor induction motor, we can insert a resistance through the slip rings. There is a provision of adding resistance through the slip rings. By adding resistance through the slip rings, we can get uh, by adding resistance through the slip rings, we can get a good starting torque performances. We can get a provision, we can say. So the applications of the induction motor is for industrial applications. We can use the induction motor for pumping systems. We can use induction motor for crane and hoist application. We can use induction motor for conveyor belts. You can use induction motor for lifts application. You can use induction motor. So now we will move on to synchronous motor. The synchronous motor is the other one, but here it is a double excited. Rotor is fitted with DC supply, stator is fitted with AC supply. So here field is on the rotor and armature is on the stator. So field is already excited by the DC. The poles are created under the rotor, and if you give three-phase supply to the stator, the rotating magnetic field is there in the stator. And if these two magnetic fields magnetically locked, they can rotate with the same speed. Only magnetic locking is required. If you want to lock the stator and rotor, if you are able to lock the stator and rotor, it can rotate in a synchronous speed. Synchronous speed means whatever the speed that is magnetic field is rotating, if the rotor is also rotating with the same speed, that is called synchronous motor. If the rotor is not able to rotate with the speed of rotating magnetic field, it is called asynchronous, that is called induction motor. We have discussed it previously. Here this type of synchronous motors requires damper bars for the self starting. Cylindrical rotor doesn't require damper bars also, only silent pole requires damper bars. So this type of construction is there in the cylindrical and silent pole. Cylindrical rotor is used in thermal power plants, and silent pole motor is used in the hydel power plants. So these are run by the steam turbines. These are run by the water turbines like Pelton Wheel, Francis, Kaplan turbines. And the synchronous motor is used very less in industry. More of induction motors are used. This synchronous motor also can be used as reactive power compensation device, because you can control the excitation in the synchronous motor. By controlling the excitation, you can operate it as a reactive power compensator. In overexcited state, it will act as a capacitor and it will deliver the reactive power to the system also. So thank you for listening me. Have a good day.